With me today is Rocky Berg. He's a principal with an architecture firm called 3 in Dallas, THREE. Rocky has been in the multifamily and particularly the senior living architecture field for 25 years. He's designed 30 senior community centers. We're going to talk today about new developments in senior living. Rocky's been a speaker at SAGE, the Society for Advancement of Gerontological Environments, the American Seniors Housing Association, and Leading Age. So he's a well-known expert in the field. So Rocky, welcome to Horizon TV.
Thanks for having me. Yes.
Okay. Rocky, you're big on hospitality-inspired architecture, creating a kind of a purposeful life for the seniors that occupy the projects that you design, but keeping it within cost. You want to talk about that?
Well, our practice 3 started 37 years ago, and it was on the invitation of doing boutique and resort hospitality projects. 25 years ago, a senior living client, very invested in the industry, said, "I love what you do in the boutique hospitality world. Can you help me with my senior living project?" And as you said, now years later, we've accomplished 30 projects across the southern swing and Hawaii of the United States. So if it's hot, humid, and a hurricane coming, that's where we work. And of course, it's all working with for-profit and not-for-profit senior living operators and developers.
Well, let's move up from 25 years ago. What are seniors looking for today? What are the key, I hate the word drivers, but what are the key forces at work in the senior market from a design perspective? What are they looking for?
Well, the clients that we look to attract are focused on experiential senior living design. And again, the hospitality model is built on the same thing. But really, it's reaching into the emotional connections, any type of property, environment, living residence for sure. It's those emotional connections that the residents connect with, their families connect with, and of course, we're empowering and enforcing the services that staff provide as well. So it's a very thoughtful approach. And so before we start with bricks and mortar, we're thinking about the experiential choreography that's really thought through all the way through the project and how it can be applied into the architecture. And as we'll talk about, it's often about trying to get the architecture out of the way so that the spaces can flex with the programming intended for the day.
And aging in place seems to have be not the kind of thing that you're looking to produce. Is that correct?
Well, the connotation of aging in place says it's stagnant, but the truth is we are all aging. So in a proactive way, it's trying to establish a better field for choice. And of course, as we transition, and as everybody's aware, the boomers are all built about choice. And so our clients are looking to attract the boomer population following the greatest generation. And so how do we create an avenue full of choices that are tailored to our residences?
But it's independent, it's purposeful. You use the words purposeful a lot.
Yes. So what I see is many of our clients are moving out of how can we entertain our clients, but really how can we engage our clients? And as people think about this point in their life, they're looking at ways that they can provide betterment through themselves and to those that are within their sphere of influence. So the notion of purposefulness is very empowering. And again, when you're living in community, and this is a big difference in terms of living at home versus living in community, this socialization and ability to leverage your power and to get better basically through the advantage of others in association is a very, very strong element to living longer and living better.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of that. There's 55 plus really doesn't apply anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't. And again,
I understand the average age of in most senior communities is active aging senior communities is like 72, something like that.
Yes. So when clients look to us to think about the concepts and ultimately the building and the programming, we're always purposed to try to lower the age of entrance into the property, to so to speak, make the wave deeper as you think about the prospects that will be coming to the community. And so as we think through that, we think through the dining experiences, we think through the wellness experience, the activity programs, the cultural and entertainment, but also, again, coming back to that betterment of how is their lifestyle improved and accessorized through the programming and ultimately the backdrop of the architecture.
Well, let's talk about some specific things that that developers are asking. I understand that the market really has shifted shifted away from condo. Is that correct?
Well, I'm myopically focused on the senior living piece of it.
In senior living, yeah.
Yes, and typically, yes, there's primarily two opportunities out there, and it's the entry fee model, and there's also the rental model, and both are appealing from different perspectives.
Yeah, on-site amenities, very important. What tell us what you're finding to be, because this I always get into this discussion about amenities because it's a big decision what you put into the building. What are you finding to be the amenities that developers want and that are actually working? That is to say, are being used by the seniors in the community?
Well, keep in mind, big picture, this is home for a resident, and they take great pride. And also in this world of connectivity, it's a huge referral market in terms of their friends and acquaintances, either coming as guests or ultimately moving in as fellow residents. But so we think about it, the processional from the front door experience all the way through. When you say amenities, it starts at the front door in the impressions.
Right.
So as you enter in the property, that drive up appeal, still very, very very healthy and powerful in terms of the residential responsibilities. So amenities, multiple dining venues, of course. We want choices, right? We want casual. Yes, there's times when we want to dress up, but a variety. The bar venues are, every time we finish a bar, our clients say, it's not big enough. We need to add seats, right? And so they're very dynamic too. And what I'll say about the food venues, again, this is a carryover from the hospitality world, is there's got to be flexibility. So big picture, and in the industry, we're wrestling with increased construction cost. The affordability of money is very powerful right now in terms of influencing people to start projects, but the cost of construction is high. So we're looking at smaller amenities, but the ability to multi-purpose in there and make them smarter. And you go, what does that mean? Well, yes, it is better technologies in terms of acoustics, in terms of the lighting, in terms of the communication skills, and the ability to control those environments and change them during the course of the day. It may be a breakfast venue in the morning, and it might be a bar venue at night, and the ability to transform those successfully and cater to the programming is very important.
Okay.
Wellness is very big in terms of the space, the square footage is given to that are slightly growing because of the different programming that is available.
You got yoga, you got yoga, you got Zumba, you got Nia,
yes,
you got the pool exercise program and yes, everything.
The pools are huge, and again, that I'll carry it forward back to the outdoor in terms of the connection between the inside and outside through that glass. Spaces inside tailored again to the programming the client and the operator are envisioning, and ultimately the residents decide how they want to use those spaces. But the outdoor spaces too, in terms of that is a huge attraction, right? Whether we're sitting in the residences and you're on a great balcony, a bigger balcony, not the little 5-footer, but a nice balcony that's an outdoor room, and you're looking across either through the trees or through a great vignette of a view, or it's that outdoor room in a courtyard with a fire pit and water and connectivity. Obviously, landscaping is beautiful. Right. The ability to have sun and shade. So those are all important elements.
Activities like chef demos and stuff like that. Just keeping things active and interesting. What about space for grandkids, stuff like issues like that?
Absolutely. What we've been working with is how do we make a playful space for when the kids are there and safe, but it's a space that's also art. The ability to infuse art and playfulness is a great concept that we've employed a couple of times. And so you pick your spots, where that activity happens and how it influences the residents that are around it, whether it's their grandkids or not, or their adult kids or not. So you think through that. The wellness venues, the pool venues are great for indoor, outdoor gatherings, if you will. So we're always thinking about that multi-generational opportunity. And again, how can we minimize the so-called senior wall around that property so that local community folks feel like they are welcome to come in and invited in. You have this dialogue, if you will, between the residents, staff, and of course the outside community.
Yeah, some specific design things that you're attempting in your properties. Obviously, more storage. They seem to want more storage. They want some space where that can convert to a guest room or a work. They're still doing work from home. Many of them consulting and so on. You got your kitchen island look, but with access to the outside. Lots of new design things. What is hot? What's hot in those kinds of things?
I'll say big picture. The units have over the last 4 or 5 years have been growing in size. Okay,
what's your typical size now, Rocky?
Oh, I'd say we're in the 900 to 1100 typical kind of square footage, right?
Right.
The appetite is for a 1-bedroom den. When you talked about flex space, that den space is a space that is usually we try to put it on daylight if we can, but it's an accessory space where it become a music room. It can be a sewing room, an entertainment piece. And you can play with it and design in terms of whether it's open or it's enclosable for privacy. A lot of times it's near the front doors. It could act as an office. A lot of folks are still working within the community with different ventures. And so that flex space is very, very important. Big picture, when I said the units are bigger, they're also more open. And that openness is in the floor plan. You spoke about the island in the kitchen. Again, that great room connection is a big player within all of our designs.
Right.
Large window openings, huge. And then you talked about storage. Again, walk-in closets are huge in terms of that master bedroom, but now even in the second guest bedroom, if you will, to have that ability to have that storage capacity. The kitchens are very thought through in terms of the pantries and the storage available there, even though they have access to multiple venues within the community, in terms of meals and food and dining. There's also storage typically on the floors in a segregated space within the floors that is provided for each individual unit. And then additionally, there's usually storage if we have a garage. Oftentimes we have garages below the buildings for convenience of parking and direct access to the units. We have additional storage down there.
Okay.
So it's a very meaningful place to, again, connect with the prospect when they're thinking about what do I do with my stuff and how do I facilitate right sizing myself to move into this new residence.
Last bit here. I understand you were at the speaker at the American Seniors Housing Association conference recently, but apparently you picked up some points that looks like about a 7 to 10% increase in costs coming on, and a lot of interest in cutting carbon footprint and so forth. But one of the things that I understand came out of that was the big opportunity for the growing middle medium cost product offerings. What does that mean, Rocky?
Well, because we've worked in the luxury hospitality market, clients that are attracted to the services we provide and the insight that we have typically pursued higher end, higher affluency in terms of those residents. Right. But the large market, the large demographic market is in a lower affluency, a lower income level, and how to solve that and moderate your costs. So it ultimately comes down to efficiencies, and in my opinion, the leveraging of technologies to help managing what we're seeing across all the industries are rising labor costs. So every time I get with my owners and my operators, that's the first thing they're talking about is how do I manage the cost? And our largest cost is on the labor, on the service side. So to me, that's efficient buildings that work really well, work with their service model, and help facilitate really sublime, really well done service, and at any entry level or any rental price.
Okay, let's. This is the question that all my guests tremble at, Rocky, and that is, what's your advice to the design and construction community who are in the senior living field? You've got 25, many years of experience. What have you learned? What could you do better? What would you like to be doing better? What's your advice?
Well, one, this particular venue of design is great for innovation. It's the fastest changing marketplace that I'm working in. Okay, very exciting as an innovator and as a designer. My counsel to all my owners and operators is work with the most talented, the most experienced. There is no room for mistakes in this industry when we're talking about our senior cares, and ultimately we're designing for ourselves. But work with experts across the field so that your results are predictable. They may be very creative, but your results are predictable. And so that's what I'd say. This is a very turbulent time. As I said, the cost of money is attractive. Cost of construction is going up. How do you balance those? Work with the best.
Right. Well, thank you, Rocky. We've been talking to Rocky Berg, AIA, a principal with the architecture firm known as 3. Rocky, when you double in size, are you going to call yourself 6, or what do you? Down in Dallas.
Working on that.
And we've been talking about new trends in senior living. Rocky, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Rob.